We have speed.
And action.
Morning, ma'am. What seems to be the problem?
Well, it's my windshield. On bright sunny days, I get this reflection on the glass. Sometimes it's distracting.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I'm afraid they're all like that. Yeah, there's really nothing wrong. It's just part of the design.
But aren't you even going to look at it?
There's no point, lady. Look, I know it's a bummer, but there's really nothing we can do about it. Honestly.
Cut.
Hi, I'm Chuck McLennan. And no, Buick know-how has not entered the twilight zone. What we just saw was an example of what we call an instant comeback. That's the term we use to describe situations when a customer's concern seems to be about something that's part of the normal operation or design of the vehicle. In this program, we'll look at this and some other scenarios that hopefully might give you some tips on how to handle these situations. Anytime owners are concerned enough to bring their cars to you, it's important that everyone who has contact with customers does everything possible to reassure them that buying a Buick from your dealership was a wise choice. Of course, when the customer's complaint is about a condition that's normal, it's not possible to repair the car. But what you can do is repair the owner's confidence. More than anything else, customers judge a dealership according to how well they're treated. The examples of instant comebacks we're using in this program represent the situations that are most often reported to the people who staff the Buick Customer Relations Center, recently relocated in Troy, Michigan.
Thank you for calling the Buick Customer Relations Center. This is Melissa speaking. How may I help you? Okay, and can you please spell your last name for me?
Hi, I'm Ken Sherwood. I'm the System Support Supervisor here at the Buick Customer Relations Center in Troy, Michigan. I'm also the Service Engineering Liaison with Home Office Buick in Flint. A lot of calls we get on a daily basis of high frequency are calls of customers with common concerns about certain characteristics of our vehicles. We spend a lot of training hours with our specialists to train them on how to answer the customer in a consistent message. One of the last things that we want to say here is they're all like that, or that's normal and you have to accept it. We try to give them an honest answer, why it's like that, and the benefits of that type of design. One of the things we want to do is have a common and consistent message throughout the wholesale and retail organization. And in this know-how, there's examples that you can use at your dealership to go through with the customer and give them more attention and satisfy their needs as far as their concerns. So good luck with you, and hopefully these will be good tips for you in the future.
Now, let's return to the worst-case scenario we saw at the beginning of the program and consider how the situation might have been handled differently.
Well, it's my windshield. On bright sunny days, I get this reflection on the glass. Sometimes it's distracting.
Well, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but I'm afraid they're all like that. Yeah, there's really nothing wrong. It's just part of the design.
Of course, our service consultant did exactly what Ken Sherwood from the Customer Relations Center warned us not to do. In this case, what he should have done is explain to the customer why there is sometimes a reflection in the windshield. Newer Buick models like Riviera reflect the latest trends in automotive engineering and design. Current fuel economy standards and aerodynamic styling trends have resulted in much steeper windshield angles. The more aerodynamic the windshield becomes, the more the driver must look through the glass on an angle. Also, the steeper the angle of the windshield, the more prone the glass is to sunlight reflecting from the top of the instrument panel. Gloss is the biggest contributor to dash reflection, so to help minimize it, Buick specifies the use of very low gloss materials for instrument panel tops. While some reflection from the dash is unavoidable, there are a few things you can suggest to minimize it. Clean the top of the dash and the inside of the windshield with glass cleaner, and advise the customer to do the same frequently. Explain that as the vinyl in a new car cures, materials used in manufacturing come to the top, causing a very reflective film to build up on the surface of the instrument panel. This condition diminishes with time and exposure.
The film from the vinyl can also build up on the inside of the windshield, and this haze makes it harder to see through the glass at an angle, and it can make the reflection seem worse.
Well, is there anything I can do?
Do you own a pair of Polaroid sunglasses?
Yeah, I do, but I don't usually wear them unless I'm driving straight into the sun.
Well, I'd really recommend that you wear those glasses anytime you're driving in sunlight. You see, Polaroid lenses can reduce dash reflection very effectively. The lenses don't have to be very dark, but they must be polarized. Oh, and one other thing. Never use products like Armor All or other wax spray treatments on the top of the dash. Even the new low-gloss sprays will produce some shine and make the reflection worse.
In a related subject, owners of current Riviera models with a light interior color scheme may comment that the IP trim pad is a darker color. Some may wonder if it is the correct part. Although, as I mentioned earlier, gloss is most critical to controlling reflection from the instrument panel, darker colors do reduce it to some extent. Explain that the purpose of using a dark low-gloss trim pad is to reduce the reflection of the pad in the windshield. Assure the owner that the dark trim pad is indeed the correct part, and there are no plans to produce a lighter colored pad in the future. Now let's move on to our next example.
When I go to the car wash, sometimes water will leak in the backside of the window.
Okay, let's see. You have a water leak at the door.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Don't worry, Mr. Saunders. I'll get one of our techs on it, and we'll get that leak fixed for you right away.
Although the service consultant was polite and understanding, she failed to make a note of the fact that the customer said that the leak occurred when he's in a car wash.
I'll get one of our techs on it, and we'll get that leak fixed for you right away.
Also, by telling the owner that the condition would be repaired, she gave him false expectations that the problem would be solved. As you know, the window seal on the Riviera is unique because of the frameless door glass design. This feature allows a smoother body-to-glass transition that contributes greatly to the sleek styling of the Riviera. This weather strip is completely compressed at the windshield A-pillar and along the roof when the door is closed. The soft rubber seal at the rear of the window glass along the B-pillar is designed to provide tension for a proper seal while allowing the windows to operate smoothly and the doors to close easily. If the seal was fully compressed along the rear of the glass, the resistance would be so great it would be impossible to raise and lower the window. The service consultant should have explained the frameless seal design and how water can enter along the B-pillar glass under certain conditions.
Under normal driving conditions, this rear edge of the glass isn't subjected to high air or water pressure. But in a car wash where brushes rub up against it or highly pressurized water is sprayed directly at the seal, this soft rubber can deflect and allow some water to get into the car.
You could also perform the dollar bill test to check that the seal is properly tight. Place a dollar bill between the glass and the B-pillar seal and close the door. There should be some drag on the bill as it's pulled out.
The tension is just right, so the seal is okay.
Well, couldn't you adjust the glass so it's a little tighter?
Well, I could have the glass adjusted for you, but when the glass is moved inward, it takes a lot more effort to close the door. You see, you'd have to push the door a lot harder to make it shut properly. And as I said, the seal on your car appears to be fine. But if you don't mind, what I'd like to do is have one of our technicians do a proper leak test, just to be sure that water isn't coming in anywhere else.
Yes, I'd like that, for my own peace of mind.
Anytime an owner reports water leaks around the door glass, it's a good idea to perform a leak test to check if there are any repairable water leaks. Remember, the leak test is performed using a hose with the nozzle removed. Work from the bottom of the window upward. Refer to Buick Know-How 181 for more information on Riviera window sealing. Now, here's a lady customer with a shocking concern.
Well, actually, I'm not sure how, but I think my car is building up static. Every time I get out and close the door, I get an electric shock.
Now what?
This may seem like a very trivial complaint, but some owners who experience static shocks may believe that the car is generating static electricity. If you encounter someone with this concern, explain that static electricity is produced by friction when certain objects are rubbed together. As you drive or ride in cars, your feet move across the carpet and your clothing rubs against the car seat covers. The nylon material that's used in automotive carpeting and carpeted floor mats generates static easily, especially in dry weather when humidity is low. This friction can cause an electrostatic charge to build up in the vehicle. The car's rubber tires insulate it from the ground. The charge increases when you slide across the seat to exit the car. When you get out of the car, then reach back and touch the door, the static charge seeks a path to ground through your body. A small electrostatic arc jumps between the metal car body and your hand and causes the shock sensation that many people find uncomfortable. Although the sensation is unpleasant and the voltage is high enough to produce a spark, the current is too low to cause harm. Suggest that the owner use one of the widely available static guard sprays. Sprayed on carpet, floor mats, and upholstery, Static Guard provides a temporary fix that will often last long enough for the weather to change and static conditions to pass. People who continuously rub their feet on the mats will wear through the Static Guard protection more quickly. They may wish to carry the spray in the car for future applications. Owners who experience static shock frequently may wish to consider substituting all-rubber floor mats for the carpeted type used in most vehicles. Rubber mats insulate the occupant's feet from the carpeting and reduce static buildup. But there's also a simpler solution.
If you hold on to a metal part of the car as you're getting out of the car and before your feet touch the ground, then the static discharge will travel through your feet. Because the contact area is larger, there's no arc and no shock.
Well, that seems simple enough.
Now we'll look at some of the other most common instant comebacks and the possible solutions.
Sometimes when I pull up to a high parking curb, that scoop thing under the front bumper hits against the curb. Is it really necessary to have that there, or is it just there for appearance?
The deflector is a necessary part of your car's design. It's not there just for appearance. As you drive, the air deflector routes the air passing below the front grille to the radiator and AC condenser. The flow of air improves the performance of your engine cooling system.
Sometimes when it's been raining and I open the trunk of my LeSabre, water drips inside.
Your LeSabre trunk has a low lift-over design, that feature that's always popular when Buick conducts its Voice of the Customer clinics to see what options people prefer. The low lift-over design eliminates the rear panel, where the tail lamps and license plate holder are normally located. Instead, they're attached to the trunk lid. Now, water can get trapped here. So when you open the deck lid quickly, it could spill into the trunk. So I lift the deck lid just a little, I pause to let the water run off, and then I open the lid the rest of the way.